Hey friends, it's Renee with Domestic Machine Sewing. We're doing part 3 of our Sewing Our Stash, and we're doing the Caitlin bag by Candal Craft. She's on Etsy. Look her up. In between filming, I did another Caitlin purse in black, all vinyl, and I had a little pop of color with a zipper there. Didn't really show like I wanted it to. I was thinking anyway, but still a little pop of color if they just want black and white. And what I always do when I'm doing vinyl is I do vinyl for the front pocket, but I do material fabric for the lining for the inner, so it's not so thick in the seams. So I did that one, and what I learned, Dodo me, is yes, you make your strap connectors longer so you can do rivets here. But you don't put them at the very top. You put them like this. I redid the straps on our white one that we're doing because I didn't like them that thick, and I did them thinner. And so what you do is you put it longer up this way, not longer down this way. And so when it turns, it takes me a while to figure things out. You can put your rivet there if you need to. But I found my machine went through the last one on my top stitching, so I didn't need to put rivets. So that's the black one I did. I got a navy blue one cut out. Let me show you. There's my navy blue. There's my lining. I just love it, love it, love it. So anyways, let's get started. This is the Caitlin purse again by Candal Crafts. And I am loving this. I want to finish this up so I can take it to the store tomorrow when I go to the store where I have my stuff. So we left off on, I did a different angle, so hopefully that's a better angle, just let me know. We left on finishing up our lining and attaching our snaps, and now we're going to put the lining together. So let me move you over. Hopefully this is a good angle. I'm trying to do a different angle. You get to see a little bit outside. You may see a bird or a squirrel crawl up. Let me move my microphone. So I put my magnetic snaps together, and I'm going to pin it, and we're going to sew it just like we did the outer part of the bag. And what you want to do here, because we are pulling it through the bottom of the lining, we're going to only sew a little bit here. We're going to sew down the sides, and then we're going to sew up to here. And she has a measurement. In fact, she has it written on her pattern. She really has everything for you on the pattern. 4 pieces. So she has down here where you mark it, and you can use that, or you can just measure. I know how much the measurement is on the opening, and that's what I'm going to do. I just need, or actually I'll just do this so you can see. So I put this down, line it up, and I just make a mark. I'm going to use my chalk pencil thing, whatever these things are called, roller, because it's got a little roller thing. And you just make a mark right where this is. I keep moving it. If you haven't seen the other 2 parts of this video, I'll link them in the description. And I always, I say always, when I remember, which is usually always, I put the links that I talk about in my description box. So always check that out. So I made our marks where I'm going to leave an opening, where I'm not going to sew. And I'm just going to clip this a little bit just to keep it lined up. Any extra I'm not worried about. I'll just clip it off after we sew it. Or you can do it beforehand. Okay, so I'm going to use a 3. And I've looked at my pressure, and I think I'm going to get a little more pressure on it. Again, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Needle down, presser foot down. Oh, let me, well. This is a very quick sew, very quick cut out. not that many pieces, and it's very Domestic Machine friendly. Yes, I'm using white thread with the black. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to turn it over and sew down this side. Getting stuck with my little part there. This waterproof canvas is very sticky. Okay, so maybe I don't have it tight enough. It's kind of going without moving. That's when you know you don't have your pressure on your presser foot firm enough. Now we're going to sew just to my marks. I need to turn it over. Just to my marks. Try and get this under 30 minutes so we can finish up. But I was actually up late last night, starting on the navy one. I need to go back over that. I didn't backstitch, so let me go back over that. You want to backstitch good on this part because this is where you're going to pull it through. So we sewed down the sides. Is that too much of a glare? Let me pull a curtain down and see if that will help with the glare. Is that a little better? Move my lights up. I need to buy one of those set lights they have one day. Okay, so now we're going to box our corners. We left our opening. We're going to box our corners. We match up the seams. And one seam to one side, one seam to the other. And just make sure they're matched up in the center. I'll put a little clip. Maybe I'll put two. One to hold one seam, one to hold the other. Now I'll do the other side. I'm going to go check out some more patterns by Candle Crafts because this was really a great sew. I mean, it was just pleasant. No struggles turning it out. No struggles. The only struggle I had was the top stitching where the strap was, but I figured that out. So it is just wonderful. So we're going to do 3/8 of an inch seam allowance again. And I'm going to turn it to about 2.5 because we want this to stay. Do the other side. We're almost done. I'm so excited. And then I'm going to start on the navy one. And I'll have 3 purses to put in the store. That's exciting. Unless someone buys it again before it hits the store off of Facebook. I'm debating on whether to do an Etsy store or do my own website to sell my things because Etsy has so many fees. I did a website a long time ago when I was selling purses and wallets and everything back in the day. Before vinyl was popular. That's when placemat purses were popular. And I just never kept up with it after a while. But then now they charge so many fees, and so I'm debating that. But I do have a Facebook page if you want to go check it out, Renee Perry. It's not J Renee, it's just Renee. It's not there's a couple of Renees, but it's Renee with one E. And I also have an Instagram, which is Sweet Southern Mess, M-E-S-S, Georgia, G-A, not spell the word out. And Instagram, that's where I post a lot of my picks and picks from my store where you can see my booth. Okay, so we're going to leave the lining wrong side out, and we're going to put right side out our main purse, main part. And you just tuck it in there. And I get the bottom corners lined up with each of them. And then I line up the sides. And again, since I flattened this out, I don't have to worry about doing one side, one the other, but I can flatten this out doing that, or I can do one side. I think I'm going to try and flatten it out because that's what I did on the last one, my black one, and my machine was able to sew through it. So let's give this a try. And you may have to adjust a couple of times just to get it lined up, and I'm always tucking it down because this always looks bigger than it is. Let me get some clips out here. There are some people that suggested on my last video, Bodio has wider vinyl, so I'm going to check her out. The thing is that my punt embroidery does a special every Tuesday. Every Tuesday you get a percentage off, and she also sends out what she calls Happy Mail. Her mom picks I think it's 3 people, sometimes it's more, and that have ordered for the previous month, and sends them free items, free vinyl, free gifts. I mean, it's just very sweet, and I love that. Very giving. So I'm going to do my centers next, but I need to make sure it's lined up, and I kind of stretch it out to make sure, and I tuck it down. This is probably one of the worst parts here, just trying to get it even, and you just have to adjust. It's just part of it. I'm going to try and just do the centers first. I may have to adjust. This one's doing fine. The other side's not. I may have to move it over just a tad. We'll see. You just have to play with it. I always pull it out from end to end and see if it doesn't curl, and then I know I'm good. You just have to, when you clip it, make sure you continue pulling it out and keeping it taut. Just work it, just work it. This is where you use a bunch of clips to hold it in place while you sew. And sewing this is a little cumbersome, not like some bags I've done, but it is, you know, a little cumbersome, but that's okay. We can do it. I need to find out if Bodio runs specials. The thing that kills me is, which everybody, is the shipping. It's just, shipping is just outrageous these days. When I ship, I use what's called pirate shipping. You might want to look into that. pirateshipping.com, and it's cheaper than the United States Postal Service. I don't know if they're national. They do like a pirate theme, and so it could be Aussies. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to do same 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and we're going to stitch all the way around. I'm going to start in the back. Whoops. And I'm going to sew from the inside, not the outside. It's easier for me. I think I'm going to need to change my needle after this one, because this is like my 3rd bag on the same needle. Okay, back stitch, and go as slow as you need to keep it even. So when I'm getting to the corner, I pull my purse back up this way and try and straighten out down here. Let me move y'all a little bit over. So I try and straighten out what's going underneath the needle and pull this over and down. And just work it. Oh, I went over. I went under. I let it move. It needs to be 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to start back. I wasn't in the right spot. Or was I? Was I in the right spot? Let's see. That didn't look right to me. Yeah, I went off a little bit. So I'm going to start back where I had it right. It's me and talking. So you go as far as you can to your sides, lift it back up, straighten it out with your needle down, and you have to move your pressure foot a little bit. I'm going to clip it a little more, and I try and straighten it out. It turns, but then I'm going to straighten it, and you just hold it. Now this is where you go over your attach the handle or the strap. And you just move it. Is that a good angle? Hopefully that's a good angle. Not very good lighting though, is it? See my homemade curtains? They're just cafe curtains I made a long time ago. When we moved in this house, going on 7 years ago, we had a lot of remodeling to do, and we had a lot of work to do, and so I was just putting things together quickly, and those curtains were one of them. My string got caught, but they work. Okay, straighten it out again. Mash it down. It's not going to hurt it. We really want to be more accurate in the front. I mean, you want to be accurate all over, but if you slightly go over a little bit, it's in the back where you want to do that. But people won't notice unless it's really, really way off. Move it again, and we're almost done. We're to the back. Okay, so there, got that done. Now we're going to pull it through. Move it down a little bit so you can see that. So easy, so easy. You use waterproof canvas, it makes it a little more difficult too. But you see how bendable and pliable this vinyl is? It's promo vinyl from My Punt Embroidery. And you just work it. I love this color together. Almost makes me want to keep it. I kind of want to keep all my bags when I finish. I just like them. I get so excited. That's why I kept the brown one. Because I want a crossbody, and I really hadn't found one that wasn't huge. I didn't want a huge one. I just want a just right one where it can fit my wallet, because my wallet's pretty thick. And I want to fit, I keep pepper spray on me for protection and other things. So now we're going to make sure our bottom is straight on our main bag, and then we can close up the lining. So now I'm going to close it up, and I do need to change to a black thread. sew. Okay, had to pause the video for it to change the thread to black, and I sewed the lining closed and tucked it in. Changed my thread to white, which y'all don't need to see me do that because y'all know how to do that on your machine. I've clipped it, I've kind of rolled it because the fabric and the vinyl to get it to lay correctly. And now we're going to top stitch it. Let me move you down. I opened the windows back up because it was so dark in here. I need to get one of those lights. It's going to be my new investment. I am going to sew from the outer on this so I can see it. I'm going to make it a 5. And I am going to try and sew over these since it did so well last night on my other one. And so let's get sewing. Move some out of the way, and you just have to finagle it. And hopefully my video won't cut off like it did a minute ago. If it does, I'll just start again. And I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on top stitching, as always. And take your time on this one. I may have to adjust my pressure. Yeah, I do already. Let me back that off. There we go. It's getting caught with my clips. These are just hair clips that I use for vinyl because those other clips can make a mark. So I'm going to take my time because this is where you want it to show that it's pretty. And you just have to move it and finagle it. Can y'all see that? Is that good? I think the sun finally came out here. It was cloudy. We could use some rain to cool it off. It is hot. Now, I grew up where it was hot. I grew up in Florida, but I prefer a little chilly. Not cold, cold. Just, if it could just stay 70s year round, that would be a marvelous thing. Not possible, even though I do like to see a little bit of snow. We get a little bit of snow once a year usually. This past year we didn't get that much. We got some dust in. But usually we get some that stays for a day at least. Okay, here we go. Now what I did on that last one, instead of using my normal hump jumper, I decided to use vinyl. This is like a messy stitch thing I use to stitch, test my machine to see if I can stitch through that thickness. And so I'm going to lift up my presser foot and stick this underneath there instead of the other. And see, and it worked better last time. I don't know why. Maybe the vinyl is not as tall as that, but let's see if it'll work and not eat my. And now as it's coming down, I'm going to stick this piece, I'm going to fold it and stick it underneath as it's coming down so it won't be any skip stitches. Is my head in your way? My noggin. Let's see if this works. So far it seems good. I didn't hear the feed dogs eat there. So we're in the front, going straight. Gonna go a little bit faster since it's on the straight of the bag. You just have to be careful with the clips on the back so your needle doesn't hit it and you break a needle. Just have to keep it tucked out of the way. There's just a few cumbersome parts as far as sewing bags. That's with every bag. It is what it is. Looking good, looking good. Just a little bit more. Right in your way. Let me move my little cart over. I hope I haven't been in the way the whole time. Recording and sewing is challenging, let me just say. Video and sewing. But I hope it's an encouragement to you, and I hope you learn something to give these purses a try on your domestic machine. Here we go again. So I'm going to straighten out the back. Come up a little bit closer to the now what I do with my little piece. Did I knock it over? Yep, there it is. Give it a little shove underneath there to even it out. I'm not going to worry about going down. Maybe I should. Okay, we're almost done. I can take these out. Rock and roll. Do remember when you lift up to put your whatever tool you're using for a hump jumper that you put your presser foot back down. I don't know how many times I've left it up and then that causes your bobbin to go wacky. Then you have to start over again. I'm going to trim the threads. Oh, she's pretty. So there you go. There's the top stitching. Pretty pretty. Looks good. Went over, didn't need it. So I guess you can give it a try without using the rivets, but if it's real thick, I don't know what the difference was in my first bag. But I do have the handle coming down here, so I could add a rivet, but I think I'm going to save it. So now let's do the handle. I've already done this part of the handle and top stitch it. And so, let me get all my little pieces together here. What you do is you pick which side you like the best. I think I like this side the best. Then you put your lobster clip facing down with this on the top. And then, just this one lobster clip. Let me move it down just a tad. Maybe not that much, sorry. And then you're going to put your slider on. And you go, and make sure on your slider that you have the top part of it. So you go in one side, over and down the other side. And then I'm going to sew it closed. Back it up a little bit. And let me sew this closed. I'm going to put it at a 3. You could really, you don't have to put this on right then. You can wait till the end. Wait till you get this on so it doesn't fall off like it just did on the floor on mine. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to make 2 stitch lines. 3 stitch length, number 3 stitch length. You can also put a rivet. I haven't put a rivet yet in any of these I've done as far as the Caitlin purse goes on the handles. I just did 2 across there. Let me trim my threads. I apologize for the glare. Goodness gracious. I gotta get better lighting. Thanks for hanging with me though. Okay, so I did the strap off camera, but what I did is you take your slider, I put the slider on first, and then you fold it over, you go up and over through the slider, and then you sew it down. I did 2 lines. Now you can come back and sew down here also, but I didn't, and you can also put a rivet, but I didn't, and I'm not gonna worry about that. Then you take this lobster clasp and you put it on, and then you feed this strap up and over on top of that, and it comes all the way down to this end. And then on this end, You just put the lobster clasp on, fold it over. Again, I did 2 lines, number 3 stitch length, and there you have your crossbody strap. So let me back up a little bit, and all you do is attach it. This is the exciting part. You attach it to your bag, and there is the Caitlin crossbody. Isn't she pretty? The thing I love about the strap is you can put it a shoulder length or you can put it crossbody, and I love wearing crossbody. So this is going to the store tomorrow, but if you would like it before then, let me know. This is all fabric in the front. This time on this purse, I usually do vinyl on the front, and we got everything done. So go check her out on Etsy. It's the Caitlin purse by Candau Crafts. I'm not a tester for her or anything. I just found a purse I love that I can sew on my domestic machine. It's an easy sew. It's a quick sew. It's a quick cutout. Not so many pieces, and you can get it done, and it's beautiful. You can do so many different things. I mean, I've done a tan one, a black one, this white one, and I'm doing a navy one that I showed you earlier. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. I hope this encouraged you to sew bags on your domestic machine, and I would appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. That helps me with producing more videos. And if you want to see more, that you subscribe, and if you click that bell, you'll be notified when I put my next video up. I'm trying to do at least 2 a week to get it going, to get it rolling, because I sew a bag every week or something every week. I'm trying to get started on quilting, but who's got time after you're sewing bags? But anyways, I hope you'll have a great week, rest of the week, and I'll see y'all next week. Take care.